Like,
Hawk
really,
Tuah.
Like, you're mad at the day.
Have you ever had to shit at a man's house?
Yeah, I just shit. I don't even try to hide it.
Okay, you never had to say shit on that thing.
It seems like they're trying to pander to an audience of like foul-mouthed females. I'm sure y'all familiar with this chick you see on the screen right here. This is the
Tuah.
Thank you for. I was not going to do that. Thank you for doing it for me. This is her. Evidently, she started a podcast because who doesn't like listening to podcasts about women that do this? Anyways, yeah. So Mr. August the Duck, I love that guy. He's very entertaining with his takes, what he thinks about things, and to be such a young man, he has a very mature thought process, which I can definitely appreciate. He did a nice little summary of her initial podcast. Just want to kind of check it out and see what the audience thought about it. So if there won't be anything else, gentlemen, we'll go ahead and take it away.
Hawk Tuah. Hawk
Jesus
Tuah.
Christ.
Native Americans and the Pilgrims had a fun dinner.
Didn't they have a turkey too?
No, definitely not.
No.
Well, guys, Hawk Tuah. Those two words are something that I've been trying to avoid talking about for the
It's
last
already
few
so
months, but
awful.
recent
So I was going to say, so just your initial assessment of what you've seen. What do you think? 1 to 10. Give me a solid rating.
She's clinging on to the little bit of fame that she has left. It's the same thing as the black Spider-Man dude who's like getting arrested now for doing the NPC stuff. I don't know if you know about this, but the TikTok NPC crap. Like his I guess TikTok career is failing, so now he's like doing stuff that's getting him arrested just to stay relevant.
That's terrible. I would never want to be that type of person.
Yeah, so I see it the same way. Like,
Yeah,
bro,
they're getting in fights and shit. It's crazy.
Well, the thing is, especially with this chick, is she's young. Like, you know, like when I say young, I mean she's like in her early 20s. And, you know, to just really have her adult life starting and already clinging to any kind of relevancy she has is fucking sad, in my
yeah,
opinion.
catch her in 2 years at a Diddy party.
Or maybe on OnlyFans at this point. Who fucking knows? But yeah, let's continue.
She seems wholesome enough, but she seems like she's one of those girls that probably might be smart but plays the dumb person because it gets easier to get a free drink, and in like 10 years no one's gonna take her seriously when she, like Paris Hilton, when she tries to say I'm smart.
I'm gonna be dead ass with both of you. I'm gonna be dead ass with both of you right now. I think she had her 15 minutes. It propelled her into stardom per se. Like she was on stage with I wouldn't say rock stars, but country rock stars.
She got paid, bro. She got paid.
She was getting money. She was getting like you said, drinks. She was moving and moving in the life. So I think that life is starting to fade out, and she's like, "Shit, what do I do to go back to that?"
The real
Industry plan.
The real question is, how proud is her father? That's the real question right now. You know what I mean? But let's see what Mr. August has to say.
events have made it basically impossible for me to continue to do that. Yeah, she made a podcast. Now, if none of the words I just said make any sense to you, then
Talk Tuah is the name of the podcast. I just want to put that into perspective, bro.
That's smart branding.
I guess
that's smart branding.
I don't know.
It works, man. It works.
Yeah.
Well, it's just unfortunate that she's letting the sexual act is obviously what defines this, because I've seen like clips of this, and it's like that doesn't have to be your entire thing.
Yeah, but let's see what happens.
I don't even really know where to begin. If you're unfamiliar with the Hawk Tuah girl, as she's commonly referred to, welcome to the internet. Glad to be the first video you've ever watched on the World Wide Web. But basically, the Hawk Tuah girl, aka Haley Welch, is a young woman who recently got famous for a street interview she gave, where she talked about a method of sucking a man's penis in which she spits on it, or Hawk Tuahs on that thing. Now, if you're like me, you might be wondering, why did that make somebody into a millionaire famous person?
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't have an answer for you. My running theory is that it's because kids these days are really into stupid little phrases that they are somehow able to take and change its meaning entirely.
Think about
the
bro.
Yes, the other thing.
Yeah.
Gen Alpha brain rot, dude. It's that Gen. It seriously is.
Oh, bro, I'm telling you. So, like when I first came into the Discord for lolcow and all that shit, I didn't know what the fuck based meant. People just kept saying it. I'm like, what the fuck is this base? Like, what does that mean? You know what I mean? And again, I'm 38 years old. I'm a fucking boomer in the eyes of the internet, and that's quite okay. I'm okay with that. And, you know, just like the term like DM, I hate saying that because of that fucking song. That's why I say messages. But, you know, that just goes to my age, and that's okay. I'm perfectly fine with that.
DM
Well,
song.
you have
What?
to remember, this is also why, you know, it's very entertaining to show you things like Belle Delphine.
Yeah.
Ats and the goofy Oz, stuff like that. I feel like Hawk Tuah kind of fits into that. Kids like saying stupid shit these days, but that's nothing new. I feel like Hawk Tuah just really managed to resonate with the youth. You couple that with a lot of executive corporate types not really understanding virality, and then you've got the Hawk Tuah girl invited to be
Chick
like
looks
the
like
keynote
Porky Pig
speaker
come to
for
life.
shit, with six-figure payments being direct deposited
Jesus
to her
Christ.
bank
Hold on,
account
pause.
to, I don't know, talk about spitting on dicks, I guess. I don't
Yeah, well, pause on the actual chick, like on the freaking, get one with her nose in there.
that with a lot of executive corporate.
There you go, dude. She looks like a short-faced snake. The sand snake. I forget what they're called. They're like hog-faced snake or something like that, like or horned nose snake or something. That's what she looks like. She looks like her face got squished.
She looks like she's underage, bro. Like, I could be totally wrong here, but I mean,
Jailbait.
She does not
Jailbait.
look like she's underage. She looks like she's in her 30s. I don't
Her?
think she looks young at all.
Her?
Yes, I don't think she looks young at all, bro. Look at her skin. Look at her face.
well, that's
I don't
probably
know.
the
Maybe I
fucking
just look
tanning
at
bed,
ugly
bro.
people.
Maybe it's a fucking
Maybe-
tanning bed. I can't.
Look at the eyebrows,
doesn't do me any
though.
favors. The
Yeah,
lighting
that's
isn't
fair.
doing any favors.
It looks like if she is young, she does her makeup like she's having a midlife crisis. So that's why I think she's
and
old.
in the cheeks, bro. I can't. Let's continue.
Types not really understanding virality, and then you've got the Hawk Tuah girl invited to be like the keynote speaker for shit, with six-figure payments being direct deposited to her bank account to, I don't know, talk about spitting on dicks, I guess. I don't really know what she does. All I know is that she's been showing up a lot of places that really make no sense for her to show up at. Whatever it is she's doing, though, it's working for her because she's basically become a household name over these last few months, and
Not
just like
really.
anybody who gets famous
Yeah,
in a
no.
very short amount of time, she's made a podcast. And,
Anyone with
well,
kids,
how do
I
I put
guess.
this nicely? You can tell that
I mean,
she's
not
only
her
been
actual
famous
name.
for a couple of months, and that
Yeah.
My question is,
Her name's not a household thing.
what's
It's
this
just her
dude?
phrase.
What's this dude's story? Like, you're on a podcast named after, you know, sucking dick with 3 females. What'd you do in life
Are
to
you the
get
one
here?
getting the hot? Are you
He's
the one getting the hot
probably-
tour?
No, he's either the boyfriend or the producer, I would assume.
Yeah.
It's the Jamie. He might be the Jamie. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
fair.
don't know who that is, but sure.
Joe Rogan.
Oh,
she got famous for the reasons that she did. It's been said a million times before, not everybody needs a podcast. Somebody who has literally nothing to talk about other than the fact that they made a funny comment during a street interview is one of those people. But that's not going to stop us from watching it because it is really, really bad, and you need to see that, okay? So let's not waste any more time. Let's begin. Please subscribe.
Come on, Haley, it's not that bad. All right, it's time to get out of the bed and quit rotting.
Haley, get up.
All right, I'm ready to talk. So I wanted to start my podcast out here in Belfast, Tennessee, where I was born at and where I've been ever since until a few weeks ago and everything changed. No, really,
Yeah,
I
it
even
gets
learned
so
you
bad.
can't bring a box
Yeah.
cutter on a plane.
Okay, so this is how the podcast starts. Not doing any fancy editing here to make this look worse than it is. This is the intro. And I think it's really funny that she decided to include the fact that she didn't know you can't take a box cutter onto an airplane, out of all things. Like, she could have said anything here, right? But she chose to go with that, and this podcast
Has she
episode
never been on a
was
plane
uploaded on
before?
September.
Yeah, she said she's never been on a plane before.
now that's bringing into question how old she is.
She's 22 from what I understand.
Oh, well,
Y'all gonna make
that's
me look this shit up.
excusable. That's excusable.
Yeah, I mean, if you're from small town Tennessee, bro, like in like the East Coast country parts, a lot of them, like they don't. There's some people that like have
even
never
then,
left.
But even then, like, you got TV, like, you know, like, like, how would you not know? Yeah, you know what? After 9/11, of course, bringing a razor blade would be totally allowed on
Yeah.
on a plane. Like, come
Fucking
on.
break, yeah.
All right,
September
all right.
10th.
Listen, Google. Hold on. I'm trying to look up this age of this chick, and I say, "How old is?" and it immediately tries to tell me how old Biden is. Fuck you, Google. I don't care.
It's the number one.
Moving on.
search.
Yeah, it's the #1 search for how old. That's what that is.
Now, after this, the first few minutes of the podcast is basically what you'd expect. Introducing the guest, introducing the host, stuff like that. Now, as I'm sure you've assumed, we're going to be jumping around a lot.
Like
we're not going to be watching the entire thing, unfortunately. It is almost an hour long, but we are going to watch part of the first thing they talked about, which they've chaptered Rewriting History. You'll see why.
I hated history in school, and I was just...
Well, what's the
whole
point of
time.
memorizing any history? Because we've now learned that none of it was true.
Yeah, that seems like a bit of an oversimplification, but sure.
You're an idiot.
None of it was true. What?
So,
all that glasses
me?
you can't even see.
well, no. So
Excuse me? I'm so lost.
she'll go in here in a little bit and explain why she thinks history is false and like it's all bullshit.
There's a difference between something being fake and something being wrong.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like, so there's some parts of history that are well known, in my opinion. But say if you're reading about like a war and who won, right? Obviously that can be a little skewed. But if it's just like a regular like world event or like some natural disaster or like the founding fathers or some other shit, that's pretty well known. Like, obviously there's going to be a certain side to it that's not going to be talked about because that's just how shit was. But I don't think it was just a straight up bold-faced lie where somebody just said, hey, let's come up with this fucking story. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see that.
That's where you're wrong, Ken. That's where you're wrong, Ken. It's the deep state media trying to feed you the lies. 9/11 didn't actually happen. That was a mystery. Nobody knows what happened those days. Those buildings just vanished. You're fed lies.
There's
by the
definitely
way, she is
conspiracies.
I mean,
There's definitely conspiracies that have occurred.
There's conspiracy theories. I will agree with you on that. But I don't think, like, if I opened up a history book, it's all bullshit. Like, I'll never be convinced of that.
That's why he said it's an oversimplification. What I'm saying is that there is definitely things that were made up in the past to cover up things, but it was never like it was never a sense of like I don't know, this 1 + 1 = 3 and we're all gonna like lie about that and pretend like it does. Like, it was never a gotcha type of thing. It was,
they're not lying to you and saying that and they're not lying to you when they say the world is round. They're just saying that because, like, you know, that's a fact.
Yeah.
No, that's not a good example. They're not lying saying that the world is flat. They said it was flat because they never went out to space to see that it was round.
I'm talking about the history books. Or the
So am I. History first said that the Earth was flat because nobody had gone out to see that it was round.
Okay, you're going.
That's where she would. That would be that would be an example as to what she would be referring to as a lie. But it's not a lie. It's just wrong information. That's why I said it's difference. Yeah, it's difference between being wrong and making something up. That's what I said.
Do you agree that the Earth is flat?
No, you fucking moron.
You know what this reminds me of?
Push play. Jesus Christ.
You know this reminds me of? The Baited podcast where they were arguing about grade A, under A. And they were arguing the definition of a lie versus just being wrong.
I learned that the Native Americans and the Pilgrims had a fun dinner.
That's what I got from
I learned that they put on their best shoes with buckles and their best hat, and they all sat down and shared maize. They had corn, and they had a cornucopia, and it went great. And now
Didn't they have a turkey too?
Okay. So for some reason this stood out to me.
You're a bunch of
Me and
kids
Haley,
when you
or
learn
the
that.
Hawk Tuah girl. I don't know what she likes to be referred to as. I'm going to say Haley for the rest of the video. We're the same age. I'm 3 months older than Haley. We are both 22 years old. And this is just complete bullshit, right? Anybody else my age here to back me up? I can't speak on behalf of Whitney. She's 42. I don't know what went on in the 20 years between us. But maybe it has something to do with the fact that she says she hates history, so maybe she wasn't paying attention. But I definitely did not get the whole, oh yeah, the Native Americans and the colonizers, yeah, they were really good buddies. And I'm from the South. Surely, there is not a chance in hell that there is a modern curriculum left in the United States that is still trying to pretend like we were super friendly to the Native Americans, right? Right?
Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1962.
1492.
Okay, he did teach me very fucking much.
I think that most
Bruh.
history until now has kind of been gossip, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of just like, you know what I mean?
Well, like, I
Like
feel
you
like if
said.
I won a battle, I'd be like, not only am I going to tell this story.
So yes, Victor, like the Victor writes the history books, but like I said, I think she's just being Paris Hilton here and pretending to be stupid blonde because it's all that's gonna make her money at this point. She's just waiting. She's doing exactly what pretty much all female entertainers do.
Like it's
and
a
it's
facade.
just like
it's just a facade or some shit.
Well, it's the same thing that Anissa does, where it's rage bait, it's clickbait, it's attempting to go viral because they're. It's easier to go viral if everybody hates you or if everyone thinks you're stupid, because all you're looking for is the clicks.
That's a good point.
Yep.
Story, but I'm also going to say like my opponent was like fat and stupid. Like, you know, I'm going to add insult to it too.
Yeah, totally.
Because he's not here to set the record straight.
Right. There was no way. I mean,
won.
it's like people are like, what if ChatGPT like photoshops photos? It's like we had paintings before where the king was telling them what to paint. I mean, that was probably worse than Photoshop.
Yeah, I'd be right.
Like Mona Lisa.
Okay, I need to ask you guys this sincerely. Do you think this is a bit? Like, is this a character or something? Is she sort of playing up the whole simple Southerner thing or what? Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but listen to the words that these people are saying. Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1962, and a king told somebody to paint the Mona Lisa for history. Like, what?
So, you've had Jake Paul.
I mean, that's not what she said, but sure.
But you've had Jake Paul on?
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes.
Meeting of the minds right there.
Oh, yeah.
He's a little spooky to talk to.
Really?
That's like a man, you know.
Yeah.
That is not like a
He's
little
a little
soft boy,
spooky
you know.
to talk
Talking
to.
that's a whole man right there.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm a little ass
Instead
girl
of
over here
Jake
talking to
Paul,
this
man,
grown
that's your
man. I
first
was
problem.
like, what the fuck? I talk to him.
Motherfucker, a grown man at 5'9", like, fuck you, Jake Paul. I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't.
Let's get a Ken Jake Paul boxing match. Let's get that going.
Bro, let me find out. Let me find out, bro. Yeah, I can't. This is terrible.
About, you know.
Haley, you are 5 years younger than Jake Paul. What's with the weird infantilization?
He was exactly what I expected. Like, he lets on like he's an asshole, and that's what I like about him. He owns up to that shit. He knows it. That's what I got respect for him for that.
I like that.
I can be an asshole too.
And he's comfortable with controversy. He's okay with it.
Very comfortable with that.
No,
Yeah, we're
he's
like
not.
4 minutes
He's
in and we're
full.
already endorsing
Like a bitch,
Jake Paul
bro.
just because he's a fucking douchebag. This is my new favorite podcast, guys. I've never understood this logic and I've heard it be used a surprising amount of times. Yeah, that guy's a fucking dick. Nobody wants to be around him. Nobody really likes him. But you know what? He knows that about himself, so he gets my thumbs up. Very strange thing to promote.
Just imagine if Chelsea said Hawk Tuah and not you.
That's
that
not
night.
exactly how it is.
No, not at all.
Jake is a piece of shit, and the fact that he's a piece of shit. There's a difference between somebody being an asshole and having respect that they don't switch up. He's just a piece of shit. Like, his character is not a piece of shit. He is a piece of shit. There's a difference.
Definitely.
Like,
he's not. It's not like he's off camera like a church boy, you know, like pillar of the fucking community. He just puts on some fucking mask and becomes his asshole. Yeah, he is himself. I'll give him that. He is truly himself. But yeah, I ain't got shit for that dude, bro.
It's a big difference. It's like Keemstar is a piece of shit, but he's not a terrible person. He's an asshole. He's an asshole, and he's an asshole on and off the camera. Whereas Jake Paul and Logan Paul are just pieces of shit.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
that's just
no two
the
ways
bottom
around it.
line.
There's no two ways around it, bro.
Yeah, there's no two ways around it. There's nothing to respect about them.
No.
All right, well, I take that back. I respect the hustle and all. I can respect the things that they've done, but I also know like they're pieces of shit. Like,
Straight up.
Would Chelsea be sitting in that chair?
I would not have dealt with it as good as you did.
I think you're
Can
No,
you
you
say
would
it?
not.
She don't give a fuck. It's her
Let's just-
problem.
let's just hear you
she
say
does
it.
not give a single fuck.
One more time?
I can't do it as good as
Do
Haley.
it.
You do it.
No, you do it.
Hawk
Oh
Tuah.
my god.
There you
You
go.
gotta put like an emphasis on it, like tuh. You know, like really. Yeah. Say it. All right.
You're not
all together.
helping yourself with those eyebrows.
Hawk Tuah.
Say it aggressive, like
Hawk
really.
Tuah.
Like you're mad at the day. You're mad at
Yeah.
Okay, so when I first heard about this podcast, this is honestly what I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be sort of like
Yeah.
Hot Ones, at least spiritually, in a way, where anybody who comes onto the podcast has to go through this like Hawk Tuah gauntlet. You got to prove you can Hawk Tuah with the best of them. So I'm glad to see that they took my idea. Is this entertaining
sounds like
for
a pretty
people?
good
Like, am I just
podcast.
miserable? You know, I
It does.
ask that question a lot
Podcast or
in my videos.
porncast?
Maybe I should go talk to somebody. But
Yep.
like, seriously, is this funny to others? Am I the issue? Please let me know.
Have you ever had to shit at a man's house?
It's
Yeah, I
goofy
just
silly,
shit.
yeah.
I don't even try to hide it.
Okay.
Real,
But we
real
said we
shit.
got it. We got
It seems like they're trying to pander to an audience of like foul-mouthed females, just because like society has been kind of like, at least when I was growing up,
yeah.
women don't talk like this in public. Like, it's kind of like men are the pigs, men are the assholes that talk like this. Like, we all know women think these things, but women don't say it. And now, like, with the newer generation, it's more prevalent and accepted now. So they're kind of pandering to that type of audience. Hence, they have the 42-year-old, which is on screen right now, and then the two younger females all talking about it. You know what I mean?
Definitely, I can see it be that way. I don't know. I think that she's definitely, like I said, a wholesome person. I just think that she's trying to stay relevant, and the people who are around, because the guy said that it doesn't make sense for her to have gone on like certain podcasts that she has, but that's exactly why it makes sense, because you wouldn't have expected her to be there, which means it would draw even more of a crowd.
Yep.
She's trying to ride her 15 minutes of fame all the way off, all the way down.
She ain't just riding it. She's kicked in the door. She says, "Come here, bitch," and she's milking that thing.
She's riding that bitch like a bull. You know what I mean?
And as long as she keeps on feeding into this type of like content, it's just gonna keep her relevant.
Yep, that's
well,
it.
see, there is this like. I can see the desire to hear, like, not just because she's popular, but she also has that natural humor. I mean, if you're willing to go on live TV or what, not live TV, but if you're willing to get yourself recorded saying Hawk Tuah and act like that, you're kind of goofy, silly, and that's kind of what the ADHD brain mentality kind of likes. They like that kind of goofy, silly mentality, and I can definitely tell with the camera cuts and the way they're all jovial and like over the top. Like, it's definitely meant to attract that ADHD brain mentality, like you guys are saying. Like, there's more to just them as a people, or as there's more to just this whole podcast as it. But there's definitely this aspect of like ADHD. Like, even watching this, I'm like mildly entertained. I'm like, all right, like, what do you got to say?
Yeah.
What do you have to say?
There's a lot of they play to it, because if you notice, there's a lot of jump cuts.
Yeah,
there's
that's
a
what I'm
lot
saying.
of
Like,
jump cuts which
snappy.
goes on with
it's very
it.
snappy.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. We got the soundbite.
Yeah.
It's gonna make her as famous as Haley.
Holy shit!
This too. Why
I
am
just
We have a sign called "Shitting with Chelsea."
I'm trying to hide it. I'm
Brother,
in.
I have
She's
never
hot to
heard one of
spill
those
that
mics
thing
like
on
that.
hot
Shit on that thing.
Please get her a hat that says shit,
Shit
on that thing.
Okay, maybe not.
Shit on that thing. That respect.
The dab,
Just
bro.
fucking dab.
Hit him with the dab.
Jesus.
Respect. There's no instance where some
She's a
42-year-old
cool
white.
mom.
There's a 42-year-old white woman that dabs to another woman taking a shit.
That was
like,
cool like 5 years ago. I don't know what
She's
to
the
tell
cool
you.
mom.
Yeah, like
I honestly, I see this being entertaining for two reasons. One, she's a wholesome person, right? Like, she's very genuine, and I think the
Apparently
thing
so.
is, is that a lot of people enjoy the aspect of like dumb ditzy, but not like, she's not ruining anyone's life doing it. She's not trying to be like Paris Hilton. She's not doing the the farming with the Hiltons. She's not like actively out there doing dumb stuff on the internet like a lot of females are trying to get famous. She's just like, hey, come talk to me and let's be dumb together. Now, is it super entertaining? Are they talking about anything meaningful? No. But hey, Jerry Springer never talked about anything meaningful.
Facts.
And that shit lasted for years.
Gotta miss that shit.
You know,
Kind of
bro.
like it's kind of like watching like King Cobra or 1,000 Pound Sisters. There's like that trailer.
it's just a
trash
guilty
aspect
pleasure,
of
bro.
it.
Yeah, it's just trash.
It's like she's a country southern hick who's been exposed to the limelight. She's gonna have some silly stories. Her voice has that country twang that makes you sit down like want to have a mason jar of tea. You know, you want to sit there and have some tea with her. You know,
It's just slop. That's it. It's like freaking, it's like what Diorio said to Blow Blacks. Just make your slop and be happy. Just go about your day. And that's exactly what she's doing. And you can hate on her for it not being entertaining, but look, we all have slop that we watch. We all have that guilty pleasure show.
Definitely.
We all have, you know.
Editing into my podcast to listen to later. Shit.
I mean, I would never watch this unless it was in this way.
Ken's like over there, just like, fuck you guys. We're not in the same boat. Fuck you guys.
There's a significant age gap. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna leave it there. You know what I mean? And, you know, different life experiences and all that other shit.
It's not entertaining. It's not. But you can also hate watch.
Well,
too.
see, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think the three of us are the target audience. You know what I mean? It's all about the target audience. And I don't
Exactly.
think we fall into that. Now, will we like shit watch and like laugh at it? Of course we will. But at the same time, this August doing this video is promoting it. Even though he's talking shit about it, it's some type of promotion, relevancy, whatever you want to call it, just to get people, let me go see what this shit's really about. You know, she may get an extra, you know,
Absolutely.
1,000 some clicks. You know what I mean?
I
Right.
had no idea she was doing this until August Duck covered it. So I'm
the
like,
same,
all
bro.
right,
I'm the
thanks,
same.
Duck.
I heard about it. I just
Yeah.
didn't care about it.
I mean, what?
Fair
He
enough.
has 305,000 views on it, and he just posted it yesterday. So, I mean, who knows how many more
Respectable.
clicks she got? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, of course.
So-
Anybody covering it is going to get some sort of like runoff.
Yep.
God, I never knew 30 seconds of a video could make me feel physically ill. By the way, we've skipped like 25 minutes of the podcast. I'm sorry, but they were just talking about getting drunk and then like vaginal wigs. I don't know what's
Vaginal
a joke
wigs.
and what's not, but
That's
I had
the
to show
type
you
of
guys
humor
the shit on
this-
that thing
this
segment
this
followed
audience
up
is
by
gonna
a
like,
dab.
though. I
And
love
look,
that.
I know I said that made me feel physically
It's
ill, but
Facebook
really,
mom
if we're being
humor.
honest,
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
think of a more appropriate podcast for somebody to whip out a dab. It feels right.
Oh yeah, Haley's
It was
first flight
sick.
ever, Whitney, by the way. Her first flight she ever went on was like 3 weeks ago now, maybe a month ago.
You got a month.
So you had never flown before you went viral?
No, and everything in my damn like carry on.
She brought a knife.
Actually, it was 2 knives, and they got confiscated.
You brought knives to the airport.
Yeah.
You
I don't
got a
like
little
how her
girl going
face
out here
talks
somewhere. She's
so-
never been unarmed. You've lost your fucking mind.
I don't know
You
what I
brought
did.
weapons into TSA
I did.
in 2024.
He's like, ma'am, what's this? And I was like, oh.
Okay, why are we going back to this little girl stuff? Look, I have no problem with somebody being armed. You best believe I'm not leaving the house if I'm not strapped. But I
always
feel
buy
like
one once you
everybody
fall.
knows
Yeah.
that you don't take that kind of
Brand.
stuff to the airport, right? Like,
Yeah, that's what I said.
Well, here's
Like,
the thing. So, truth be, this is the one defense I'll give, right? If she's 22 years old, she wasn't even alive when 9/11 happened and TSA formed and all that shit. But if she's never flown and even went to the airport, she had no reason. And again, if she never went viral, she probably would have still not flown to this day. So she don't give a fuck. She's just taking shit to the airport.
but the likelihood that she doesn't know this is so BS. Like, she would literally have to have not watched like any movie, TV show, anything that would even reference what is and isn't allowed on an airplane or at an airport. And there's even signs at the airport telling you what is and isn't allowed. Like, there's like, it's
The other, well, she also thought Christopher Columbus sailed in 1962. So,
But again, though, is that what she actually thought, or is she just playing
Yeah.
the character?
that's fair.
That's why I'm saying.
Well,
That's why I'm
did she
saying.
Did she actually pack 2 knives and take it through TSA and think that it was okay?
Well,
Possibly.
Well, you know
but
what?
It's a good story.
I'm gonna reference an old commercial to this. How many licks does it take to get to a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop? The world may never know. And that's the answer.
The center
bro.
of it, but yeah.
You know what I mean? Fuck you.
No, like I said, she might be in like 5 years. She might turn out to be like Paris Hilton and try and convince the world she's smart.
And then she'll end up being on OnlyFans trying to support a habit with 2 kids.
Or she might be like Jessica Simpson and try to tell everybody that vaccines are a bad idea.
We're not getting into
Yeah,
that.
you never know.
Like, I feel like that's a universal thing. Obviously, there are ways that you can legally take guns and knives into an airport, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I don't think I've ever met a person in my entire life, whether they've flown or not, who thinks you can just walk onto a plane with a knife. Now, we've been jumping around a lot, but I promise you haven't missed anything important. I kind of let this play in the background while I was doing something else, just to really get the full experience, and some of the shit I heard, I don't even know how it fits into the conversation. I'm like 99% sure I heard heard something about Haley Bieber's cum at one point. Not
Jesus.
sure where that slots in here, but I think we've seen enough. Is this podcast bad? Yes. Should it exist? Absolutely not. But I mean, at the end of the day, can't you say that about most podcasts, really? As a guy whose only exposure to podcasts has been the ones I've talked about on this channel, which are famously bad, I feel like I'm pretty qualified to make that statement. Well, guys, what do you think? Is Talk Tuah gonna go down in the history books as one of, if not the most important piece of media of our time? I'm thinking maybe. Unfortunately for Haley, I can't imagine this lasting too long. To be fair, I've said that for like the last 2 months, but tricking boomers into thinking you're an actual celebrity and maintaining an audience for a podcast, those are two very different things. I think these first few episodes will get a lot of views just because of the novelty, but once that wears off, I think the reality of the situation will start to present itself. Not hoping for that, not wishing for it, don't get me wrong. I hope Miss Hawk Tuah has all the success in the world. I just don't see it happening.
If you enjoyed this video,
That's basically it.
Holy crap! Hold on, what happened to the audio? Hit play.
please leave.
It's so the ending part is pre-recorded. The ending part is pre-recorded, so he has that to the end of every video.
Oh,
So no matter what, that's just him. That's how he does it, right? I mean,
that was a major drop in quality.
the dude has almost 2 million views, so he's doing something, or subs, so he's doing something right.
Doesn't mean you can't have a bad recording.
That's
regardless,
fair. That's fair.
I agree with him. I
do
just
too.
think, again, like I said, I just think that it's a Paris Hilton thing.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. She's gonna be the next generation's Paris Hilton. Hopefully not. Hopefully she's successful in whatever she wants to do and she can flourish and call it a day. But I don't think that's going to happen at this point.
No,
I think there's opportunity. I think there's opportunity. I mean, like, it just depends on if she's an interesting person. I mean, you have to provide something more than just being the Hawk Tuah girl. I mean, that's the same thing we've been telling Boogie and Wings for years. Like, you can't just be the one who plays video game streams. You can't just be the one who throws controllers at the walls. You gotta find more to yourself than your one defining characteristic if it's something so simple like that. So she has to be willing to expose herself a little bit, I guess.
Not physically. Anyways.
Well, no, I'm not saying that.
I don't think expose is the right word. I think what you mean to say is
genuine. Be genuine.
Well, I don't know about that either. Anyways, how about I just say what I'm trying to say? What I think is that she needs to learn to adapt because all she's doing is staying in a singular lane right now because she got famous for being hypersexual, and her first video is her being sexual. So it seems like she's going to try and keep that level of humor, which there's nothing wrong with it, but you need to adapt and do like more things because if it's just one trick pony, people are going to get bored and novelty is going to wear off eventually.
Yep, because I mean, eventually the meme of Hawk Tuah is gonna die, and then what's next, right? But like I said, I thought just a quick little short video just to go over the chick that does that. And August is a funny motherfucker, so it's always like good to watch his videos. I can't talk, but thank you everybody for watching. Thanks to Plex and Zeph for joining me as they always do on the after show. And that's
have a good one.
Pretty much it.
Have a good one.
You guys take care.
Have a good one, and don't forget to Hawk Tuah.
I can't.